Prahlad, to play the devil's advocate, to choose a film which is definitely Indian, traditionalistic, depicts India, or to choose a film which is original, which projects great cinema, which is at par with international standards?
See, that's what it's all about. It's about competing with world cinema at an original level, with an original story, which, if it has been inspired, there are lots of films that are inspired by other films, but you give them a credit. You turn around and say, this is inspired by Kurosawa, or this is inspired by, Jano Vidyaya Yaro, because there are a lot of films that were inspired by Jano Vidyaya Yaro. But they admit that.
Give credit.
They turn around and said, yes, this film has been inspired by that. Yeah. But when it comes to commercial cinema, you see, they don't bother because it doesn't matter in the box office. Either ways. I don't think Anurag in any way expected his film to go for the Oscars, to be very honest.
All right,
I don't think he made the film with that attempt.
Prahlad, hold on to that thought. We're going to bring in our entertainment editor there. Denzel wants to come in and pose a question. Denzel, go ahead.
But as far as Bollywood is concerned, or for that instance, Indian cinema, we are not into giving credit. I totally agree with what Prahlad says, and we should have given credit if we were doing something like that, which has of course not been done. But I think that's something, as we keep growing, we will adapt to.
Right.
But right now, certainly, as far as Barfi is concerned, well, it is an entertainer, and at the end of the day, the jury gets entertained and like the movie, then so be it, I'd say.
But Denzel, how much credit can you give? It's not a particular scene. It's not that you got inspired by a particular scene, by a particular dialogue. With what your team has put across, there are multiple scenes which have been blatantly picked up. So credit, all right, but how much credit could be given?
Well, I'd say we'd need a couple of graphic plates as we put on television to give a whole lot of credit wherever it was due. Yes. But yes, I agree, with a movie like this, it would be very hard to give credit. But, well, I think it's been done before abroad, and there are umpteen cases of giving credit. So I don't see any reason why we should not.
All right, stay on with us. Let me put Prahlad in a bit of a spot of bother here, because he'll have a lot of people from his friends from Bollywood to answer to. Prahlad, I just want you to go out on a list. If you had to, across the board, pick up one film from this year and which you thought would be our best bet at the Oscars, what would it be?
Pan Singh Tomar, without even blinking.
Well, Denzel, you got it there. It's not the people who are pushing Pan Singh Tomar. Prahlad sitting right there is saying, Pan Singh Tomar, it was staring at you in the face. Why didn't you pick it up?
Well, but also at the other end, as far as now Bollywood is concerned, we're trying our best to also enter different markets. And towards that end, there are vested interests that are pushing certain movies. How that will be fought at the end of the day by Bollywood and beyond, I really don't know. But for right now, that is the case, and so be it. So Pan Singh Tomar, at the end of the day, a well-made small movie gets left behind.
Denzel, Prahlad wants to come in. Prahlad, come in.
Yeah. No, see, the problem is not whether it's a better movie or not a better movie. I think that's, I mean, if you leave it to the box office, they will decide which is a better movie to watch. But when it comes to rules, and the Oscars have very, very clear rules about this, that if there's any scene of plagiarization or inspiration in any film internationally, it is disqualified from competition. It's as simple as that.
Right, Prahlad,
so what's the point of sending a film which is not going to be seen?
Exactly. Prahlad, do you agree, do you agree, saying it with full regard, that the Indian audience which watches film, the larger Indian audience, is not as exposed to, say, the international audience, and the box office is always not the best judge to put the best film forward when you're looking at contending with world cinema?
But the best film regarding what? The Indian audiences don't care a rat whether you've copied it from here, there, or everywhere. For them, it's a full bag of entertainment, and they love the film, and they're going to it in droves. But that is not what the Oscar committee thinks. The Oscar committee has very clear rules, and I think our federation and our judges who select films must be in the know that it's not going to see the light of day, it's going to be disqualified.
Denzel, one last comment from you there.
Certainly, I agree with Prahlad, but to go back in time to how movies are selected, well, it is a process as far as Hollywood is concerned, and they are very rigorous. The movies that are big box office successes seldom or never make it to the Oscar list. And having said that, I'd say that we certainly need to be careful when we're choosing our own movies.
And clearly we are not doing the right job. For now, gentlemen, Prahlad Kakkar, thank you for joining us. Also, Denzel O'Connell joining us from the studios. They're our entertainment editor. Thank you there for joining us on this discussion. Well, one thing is sure, call it inspiration or call it blatant copy. Barfi is, by the larger opinion, not the best bet that India could have sent across to the Oscars.